Hi, everyone. I'm putting out a short video. Well, hopefully it'll be short. And basically, I'm putting this out there because I want to show it to another YouTuber named Rudy Greene. I have him here on YouTube. Rudy is a very good searcher, and I used to watch his videos way back. And I'm glad to see that he's back. I haven't been paying attention too much, so I'm going back and looking at some of his videos over the summer. Now, this video specifically was made before the treasure was found, but I want to show everybody this, and I want to show it to Rudy specifically because I think it may impact the stuff that he's discussing here to help with a solution. Now, some of this information you've heard before, it's been in previous videos of mine, and it's related to the try to wheel stuff, but I want to try to give a different perspective of it that'll relate to the this video here that Rudy is talking about. Now I'm going to link this video below, and I suggest that you watch it because if you don't watch it, what I'm saying is not really going to make that much sense to you. I left a comment in there, and I don't know if it'll show up yet because I put a link in it. However, I want you to go ahead and watch this video anyway. Now, in this video, he's basically giving an analysis of the first stanza and also stanzas 5 and 6. But I wanted to point something out in this that I've referred to in the past that I think a lot of searchers overlook certain parts of stanza 1. And to me, they're important. Let's take a look at stanza 1 here. I have a sentence diagram of it. So he's saying, as I've gone alone in there and with my treasures bold, comma, I can keep my secret where and hint of riches new and old. So a lot of people, including Rudy, are speculating that where is going to define where warm water salt, because that's the only place that where appears other than in stanza 1. And the same thing with the word there. There only appears beside stanza 1 below the Homer Brown. So basically, in my opinion, he's setting up a condition here. Now, if you look at this, and a lot of people gloss over this, he says, I can. So we got the auxiliary verb can in here. I can keep where? My secret where? And hint of riches new and old. So he's defining two things that he can do. But let's look at that word can. Can means that he has the ability to do something. You know, for example, my car might be parked out in the street, and I say, I can keep it in my garage. And you might ask, well, why is it out in the street now? That means under certain circumstances, I don't do it, right? Because if Forrest was just keeping a secret, if he just wanted to write the poem and say that the poem contains a secret where, he wouldn't need to use the helping verb can. He could just say, I keep my secret where, and I hint of riches new and old. He didn't need to use the word can, but he did put the word can there. So that means it's setting up a condition. In my opinion, the condition is that as I have gone alone in there and with my treasures bold. So these are the two conditions that make it possible to locate the secret where. And also, as I said, and I mentioned this to Rudy, in my opinion, I is not for his friend. If you read just before the poem in The Thrill of the Chase, Forrest talks about putting a piece of himself in the treasure chest. And we know he did. He put in his DNA, he put strands of his hair into the chest. So technically, in my opinion, the first stanza, I, is the treasure chest talking. Okay, because remember, I is a pronoun, and it can either be a person, place, idea, or a thing. But in this case, I believe it's Forrest, but he's speaking you through his spirit, and he is in the treasure chest, physically in there, and he's drawing you towards himself so that you can find the chest. Okay, so Forrest is in there, and he's in there with his treasures bold in the physical world. When you find the chest and you open it, you will find his DNA in there with his treasures bold. Now, how does all this relate to what Rudy's talking about? Well, forget about try to wheel for now. Let's go along with what Rudy is saying And let's say that we're discussing a creek. So I is a creek and I is going into a canyon, right? And the treasures are some features, let's say historical sites, pull outs, whatever you want, that appear along the creek. Okay. That's the creek's trove. And the creek is going into the canyon. So let's continue with that theory. Again, why would he use the word can? So why would the creek set up a condition that it keeps its secret where and hints of riches new and old, but only when it's gone alone in there with this treasure's bold? Why is there a condition? So let me show a real life condition of what he could be talking about. And please, this is just an example. I'm not trying to go and say that this is a solution or this is where it is. This is old stuff. But I just want to give you one of probably many conditions that might help you out. So let's take a look in Google Earth here. And as a lot of you know about the sink, which is southwest of Lander in Wyoming. Okay, here's Lander, here's the sink and the rise. And just briefly, what happens is the Poposia River comes down here, okay, and then it enters the underground cave over here. And then about a quarter mile down the canyon, it appears from underground at a place called the Rise. Now, they've done tests where they spilled dye in here, and then they tracked how long it takes for the dye to come out down here. And even though this is a quarter mile, depending on how fast the river is running, the dye could take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to go from here to here, depending on how the river's raging. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to show you here, and this can apply to what Rudy is discussing. So, the features that this river has that's coming into the canyon, and in Rudy's case, it would be a creek. One of those would be the sink. The second one would be the rise, correct? Now, the creek leaves. You know how he says, so why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answer is I already know. I've done it tired and now I'm weak. The creek leaves here and it comes back here on the rise. Okay, so where does the word can come in? How can I keep my secret where? Forrest said we don't need to go in any caves. It is possible to go inside the sink and go underground. There's a cave right over here that you can enter, and they used to give tours in there, but that's not what Forrest wants you to do. Okay. There's a condition set up, and the condition set up is during spring runoff, this river rages so bad that it overfills the mouth of the sink and it goes into this rocky area, which is an overflow area. And the Poposia River comes down here on the right side of the road, and then it meets up with the stuff that's coming out of the rise over here. So we have a condition here that this river from here to here is normally dry during the summer. It's only during winter runoff and in the spring that'll overfill the sink, and then it takes a different course. So Forrest, if this was my solution, and it was in the past, but it isn't no longer. And by the way, this is an overlook of where you can look at the sink, and then you can park here and go and look at the rise. But if this was my solve, Forrest might be directing me into the dry bed, rocky area. In other words, it's keeping it secret here, where under normal circumstances, the river or I does not take the sink in the canyon down. It overfills and goes around and goes above the ground. And of course, it beats the water that's going underground because this trip underground takes 2 to 4 hours, where above the ground that it's only going to take minutes for the water to get down there. Incidentally, this is all driven by a reservoir that's over here. So what they do is they got the water up here, and then when they need it during the summer, they'll release the floodgates and allow additional water to come down the middle Poposia and come down through all of the stuff to supply water into the basin below. But anyway, I don't want to get into the solution. I just want to provide just a little bit of information there that maybe, I don't know, to help people that are following Randy. And I want to thank Randy again. I really like his videos. You got to watch the video that I linked below, but I want him to check this out too, and maybe it'll add a little bit more to what he's trying to say. And as I said, Forrest could have easily written a poem where he said, "I keep my secret where," and hint of rich, new, and old. Why did he put the word "can" there? So he's indicating that he has the ability to do something, or there's a circumstance of which something will occur. Well, that exists in the real world at places like this, because this river is dry over here, from here to where it crosses over the bridge over here. So from here to here on the right side of the road, it's dry, and then for the rest of the year, it goes under the ground here and comes up down here. So Forrest could be directing you into this. So why would, in Rudy's words, why would a lot of people find out the first two clues, which canyon and where does warm waters halt? That would be a perfect example, because they're coming up this road and they're going here. Maybe they're looking here, and then they go down by the rise and they're looking there. They're looking around here. They're looking over here. Maybe they're looking upstream. But really, the fact of the matter is, it could be leading you down here. And I just want to point that out. So again, these are the treasures that that river has when it comes down in the canyon. It's true. So anyway, hopefully everybody has a good week, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.